So with a baby on the way and a working wife, I've been thinking a lot about maternity or paternity leave and the struggle that a lot of small businesses face when it comes to a paternity leave policy for their employees. Currently, the U.S. is one of the only industrialized countries without a national paid leave policy. Now, companies with greater than 50 employees have to comply with FMLA by providing up to 12 weeks of unpaid maternity leave. And then there are some states like California, New York, New Jersey that have a publicly funded disability program that covers pregnancy. But there is currently no federal state law that requires companies to pay for parental leave for employees. And the Department of Labor recently reported that just 15% of companies with 99 or fewer employees have access to employer-provided paid leave, despite the fact that 77% of employees indicated that paid leave had some bearing on a job choice, according to a 2016 Deloitte survey. Due to demand, larger companies have begun to voluntarily expand paid leave policies. But for small businesses, competitive parental leave benefits is a challenge due to the limited financial or labor resources. And this is where business owners may have to get creative. So here are 5 strategies for building a parental leave policy for your small business. Number 1, utilize short-term disability. Now, this is really the most common form of parental leave, since most short-term disability policies specifically address pregnancy or birth. The policy usually pays out at 50 to 60% of compensation for the period of the disability, but how long that benefit pays out for, also known as the benefit period, and how quickly it pays out, the elimination period, really depends on the policy. So generally, the policy pays out for 6 to 8 weeks, starting 7 to 14 days after the birth. But again, every policy is different. Offering a short-term disability policy at your company can provide some sense of financial comfort to your employees, just knowing that they won't have to go completely without pay during pregnancy. And the nice thing about these policies is that they can be paid for by the employee. So if finances are tight for your small business, you can have the employee bear the cost of the monthly premiums, which normally aren't terribly expensive. As the owner of the business, you'll just need to seek out a policy from an insurance company that will cover your employee base. The small time that it will take you to find a policy and get it up and running is well worth the benefit provided to your employees. However, it is worth noting, and it's probably pretty obvious, that these policies only cover the employee who actually birthed the baby, meaning this benefit will not apply to spouses. Now, of course, an alternative to relying solely on short-term disability is offering paid time off. The benefit here is that it does not require the payment of monthly premiums, and it can be offered to a spouse, unlike short-term disability. However, this is also probably the most expensive option, as the company or the business has to continue paying for the employee who is not working, but will also likely have to pay something to cover the work of the absent employee. But even if you can't, as a business owner, if you can't afford to pay a full 6 to 8 weeks of paid time off, you could offer something shorter, like maybe it's just 2 weeks that you could stack on top of short-term disability. Might be a little more affordable. It doesn't have to be the full, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, or whatever it is. It's a small financial sacrifice, but it could go a long way towards your employees' wellness, and it shows, your respect for their personal circumstances. But if paid time off is not in the cards due to company finances, offering flex time to new parents can be a great alternative. This could provide more flexibility in terms of work days or even work hours. For instance, you could allow employees with new children to maybe work 3 days per week for the first 4 weeks, and then 4 days per week for the next 4 weeks, and gradually move back to full time. This gives some time to the employee to adjust to life with a new child. Alternatively, you could allow them to work 24 to 32 hours per week and just give them the freedom to choose their own hours for a period of time. For example, maybe mornings are tough for a new parent, so giving them a flexible schedule that allows them to work from like 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., or maybe if evenings are difficult, they could work from 6 a.m. to noon. Just giving employees the freedom to choose their own hours during a very hectic time in their life can significantly improve their quality of life and their appreciation for their job. A recent survey found that 76% of millennial employees would be willing to take a pay cut for more flexible work hours. So, even if your pay scale is a little bit lower than the competition, or maybe you don't have as great of benefits, flexible work hours, especially for new parents, can make up for that. And then on a similar note, flexibility in work location could be included in your company's parental leave policy. So perhaps you can't afford to offer paid time off, but your employee has the capability to work from home. If so, then allowing new parents to work from home for a period of time after giving birth could be a major benefit. For instance, you could allow employees to work from home for the first 8 to 12 weeks after becoming a new parent, and then gradually shift back to the office in the following weeks. I think as long as the job can be done from home, offering this kind of flexibility can greatly improve employee wellness and employee satisfaction. Also, I think given the fact that most of us have adapted to working from home recently, there isn't a great excuse for why this could not be implemented for new parents in business, professional settings, at least. And then finally, if you're not able to offer any of the above benefits, you could always just offer unpaid time off. Now, this is not ideal for all employees, but it does give them some time to adjust to their new way of life. Aside from offering no parental leave benefits, I think this is the next affordable option. You may have to hire part-time work to replace the employee temporarily. However, you would no longer be paying a salary for the employee that is absent during that maternity leave. And not all employees are in a position where they can take time off unpaid, but at least provides them an option for caring for their new child without having to worry about losing their job. And this would be for smaller companies who don't have to comply with the FMLA 12-week rule. It goes without saying that these strategies may not work for all businesses, but developing a combination of these 5 to fit your line of business can really improve employee well-being, employee satisfaction, employee retention, employee morale, and just enhancing the overall company culture. I think taking the time to develop a document that describes your parental leave before you have a need for it will save you and your employees a lot of time and energy and stress down the road. It's also one step towards creating an inviting culture that will attract top talent, which will ultimately enhance the value of your small business. I know this was a lot to cover, a longer video, but I hope it was helpful. Thanks for watching. Have a great week.